Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Pretty Real Persona. I am your host, Ariana Reese. So first, I kind of want to start off with a soul check because, as you can see, I'm definitely in a new place. A new setup this week. Um, the couch looks the same, but I don't have my little thing up, and this is not the actual place that I'm going to be doing my podcast at. So I'm going to I. So, anyways, let's just get into it. So, what's going on with you guys? What's new? Let me know in the comments what's going on. How has this week been for you? Are you taking care of yourself? I know it's getting close to the holidays. Um, are you getting ready to see family? What do you got going on? What's coming up? Let me know in the comments. I want to know. Um, so, kind of what's new for me is I moved. I literally moved to another city. Um, yeah, I literally moved to another city. I was in Toledo, Ohio, but now I am in Columbus, the big C, baby. All right, you know. So, yes, I moved. Me and my girlfriend, my queen, we moved into a townhome. Mind you, this was on our vision board, so this is pretty. It's pretty nice to have seen this. Like, this is pretty dope. Um, so I will say, this the this episode is fitting for just the move, me talking about the move. We moved. I started a new job. Oh my gosh, guys. I started a new job, and I'm not going to tell you too much about that yet. That is definitely coming. Um but yeah, I'm so happy to be like back here with you guys recording in the midst of the move. Like, it was so important for me to like make sure I still got in here recorded, even though it's like I don't have my setup complete. We're still moving. We still got boxes. We have a lot of stuff like set up together and place, but we just, we still got some stuff we got to get going and get moving. So that's what's new with me. I feel like I've still been like taking care of myself, doing all of my self-care things, and I really am loving my new job. So that's pretty nice. My mental health is pretty good because I actually really love my new job. So let's get into today's episode. So today's episode is about the beauty of starting over. So before we go ahead and jump in, make sure you're subscribed to Pretty Real Persona podcast on YouTube. So if you haven't done that right now, pause this and go right up to the top and subscribe to us. Because, baby, we're building a healing era. So go ahead. I'll wait. Go ahead and push that button. Okay. Have you ever started over so many times that you could open a reset button store? Baby, yeah, me too. Like, I feel like I'm the queen of like life transformation. It's kind of crazy. I just keep transforming. I'm a real life risk taker, and it'd be scary, but it's getting easier. It's getting a little bit easier. But yeah, like back to that store. So it's like, hi, welcome to rebrand RS, baby. Would you like your new personality with or without trauma? You let me know. Obviously, personally, I would like it without the trauma, but we know trauma is essential to building character. So truly, it doesn't always happen the way we want it to happen. Let's talk about the beauty, the chaos of starting over. Because it's not always pretty, but it's always powerful. Always. So I want to get in and talk about the ugly start of a beautiful thing. You know that awkward phase when you're starting over? When nothing matches, your routine's a mess, and your identity is basically under construction. Starting over looks very cute on Instagram. New apartment, new goals, new vibe. But behind the scenes, you're eating cereal for dinner and pretending it's intentional minimalism. But truthfully, the beauty of starting over is that it forces you to meet yourself again. The real you, the you that's not trying to perform. You learn what fits and what doesn't fit. And that could be friendships, habits, routines. Like I said, you're truly relearning yourself all over again. And for me, this is so fitting, especially right now where I'm at in my life, where I feel like the ugly version is like, okay, I knew the plan was to move. I know where I see myself at the end of this plan, which is I want to go back. I want to go to OSU and I want to become a therapist. That's my end goal. But it's like all the steps in between, I have no idea. And it's like before I was in a very like, um, I'm used to being in a very like, just to get to that kind of a more people facing job versus like, I've come from a background in like business numbers, like all kinds of like doing things like that. So it's just very different for me, like, you know, and just how I'm going to get there. It just scares me that I don't know what the in between looks like. I don't know. I know like, okay, I apply, I get in, I do that. But like just the in between to getting there and doing that and what I do during getting there, it's just like, it's so scary because it's so new. But it's like ultimately, I know that's exactly where I want to be and where I want to end up at. Um, I know I wanted to be closer to my family. Like I know where I was. I just was tired of being like looking around, being alone. I could, like I had no family. And then it's like when things would happen to me, it's like I would have to drive an hour and a half or drive 2.5 hours just to get support or to feel like loved. So it's like, I know I'm happy. I'm so much happier where I'm at because I know that I could go down the street and I could see my mom. I could see my grandma. I could see my nieces, my nephews, my brothers, and I could go around the corner and be with my girlfriend's family who literally treat me like family, and I love it there. I love them. I love everything about them. So I just kind of want to do a reflection moment, and you guys can answer this in the comments. The question is, what's something in your life that used to feel aligned but doesn't anymore? And truthfully, that's your cue to release it. So release it in the comments and let me know what you guys are thinking. So today we're getting into a new segment, Pretty Real News. I think I'm just going to pick one topic that I feel like is like heavy everywhere, which is the whole Trump thing where he's literally like, not even he, but just like in the House right now, they're having a hard time deciding on what funding is going where for um, federal benefits like SNAP, WIC, and even just paying federal workers. It's sad to see. I've seen a lot of people on TikTok, literally federal workers, even military is being affected. Um, Seeing things on the news where you see military people going to these food banks, food drive places, and there's not enough food for them. And people, they're no longer, WIC is going to be cut off for the month of November. Plus, it's like Thanksgiving, which is the month that you eat. It's just so disheartening to see. I think um, for me, it's just like, I'm a type of person, I grew up on those kind of benefits. Like, if I didn't have those resources, who knows what kind of, where I would have been in life. No lie. Like where I say, like, I never had to, like, I never worried about where I was going to live or eat. Those government benefits was the reason why. And, I feel grateful because even just like I'm the type of person, I went to college, and because it gave people like me, when your parents will never be able to afford for you to go to college, like a person like me, I was able to go through college and get Pell Grants, get all kinds of things to be able to be literally call myself a college graduate right now. Like that's super dope. Like, so it just kind of sad to see, but it's like, it's just sad to see. And then it's all the people that are saying weird stuff like, oh, now they gotta, now they're like, now people can actually pay for their groceries and pay for stuff and don't have to rely on um the government. And it's just like, it's so selfish and like closed-minded and weird to me to hear people say stuff like that, because it's like homeless people deserve food, and that's what the food banks, those programs fund the food banks and stuff like that. So it's like homeless people deserve to eat too, especially where we have people high up hoarding wealth, you know. Um, Homeless people deserve to eat, and people who are poor or people who do not have it deserve to have resources. And that's just the truth, because if the tables turn, then what would y'all say? So for me, I just feel like that stuff is disgusting. So yeah, that's pretty real news, because that's just really my opinion on it. Like, y'all can be mad, y'all can be glad. That's just my opinion, and that's just pretty real news, baby. So now I want to talk about building without shame. Starting over gets hard when you're embarrassed about falling apart in the first place. But there's no shame in being human. Maybe you left a job, maybe you ended a relationship, maybe you moved back home, or had to completely rebuild your confidence. You're not behind, you're just rebuilding with better materials this time. I don't think it was shame that I felt in rebuilding. I think I was very excited for this new beginning. I wanted it so bad. But I think that, like, for me, in the instance of all those things I named, it was like, I kind of moved closer back to home. I wasn't too far from home either. I'm still probably like 30 minutes closer than I was to my actual, like, hometown. But um, maybe 30, 40 minutes closer. But I did leave a job that I was completely stable at, and I worked hard to, get the position that I did, but it did not align anymore. It did not light me up. It did not make me happy. I would be at work counting the days that we got to go home, and you know, I would be the one motivating everybody, and it's like that job was truly draining. Like, all of the politics, all of the weird, like, all the anxiety that I just feel so, like, relaxed in my new job, and just without worries of, like, oh, my job, oh, the micromanagement. Like, I didn't have any shame, but it was hard for me to lose, not to lose, but to leave the job, because it's like I was so stable there. I could have been so content with just being, miserable there. And I'm glad that I chose not to, but I could have been. I easily could have been, but it's like it just did not align anymore. And I had to, like, if I wanted to reach my goals, reach my vision board every year, like, I had to make some changes. I had to literally buckle up and be scared to take a leap of faith without knowing, what the full, not knowing if I would fall completely or not, or just taking it day by day, week by week, month by month. Like, that is how you do that. Like, I had to realize the version of me that failed before taught me everything I needed to know now. That's growth disguised as chaos. I've learned so much. I went through so transformation after transformation. I worked so hard. Um, I've learned so many just lessons on my own. Like I have literally 13, 14 journals of growth, of just things that I've learned, of just working hard to get to where I want to get to, and never giving up, and just learning lesson, taking L's. I took so many L's. I've taken so many L's in my life. But the only thing that I didn't do was let it, I just let it teach me, instead of making me feel like I wasn't good enough. And of course, there's times I felt like I wasn't good enough, but I didn't let that, be the end all be all for me at all. And sometimes the most beautiful part about starting over isn't the new beginning. It's realizing you survived something that tried to break you, or things that tried to break you. And I would just tell you this, like, starting over means choosing faith over familiarity. Like, you cannot do the same things over and over and over and get a different result. You're going to get the same result doing the same things, being content where you don't want to be content, and it's just like, have faith and work towards something. That's literally what I've done my whole life. It's giving yourself permission to become the person that you've always wanted to be. It's hard, it's humbling, but it's also holy work, baby. If no one's ever told you this, I'm proud of you for trying again, even if it's messy, even if it hurts, even if it's hard, even if no one sees it or no one sees you. I'm proud of you. And keep trying, keep going. If this episode today spoke to you, screenshot it, post it on your story, tag at PrettyRealPersona podcast. I want to see who's in their reboot era with me. So make sure you're subscribed for next week's episode on Wednesday. We post every Wednesday. Until then, remember, you can't grow up if you're too scared to grow through. Bye, y'all. I love you guys. Thank you for watching.